Good morning,
Got it.
Yuval. Welcome, Yuval Bartov from Sage Active Clinic. And Yuval is the master extraordinaire of myotherapy. And I've been receiving treatments from Yuval now for a couple of months. And I've got to say, this guy is amazing. Yuval, tell us your story. How did you get into myotherapy?
First of all, thank you, Freddie, for hosting me in your podcast. It's also my pleasure. I basically arrived here to Australia. I never heard before about remedial massage and myotherapy. And in some point, I wanted to study something that's hands-on, that include injuries and sports. And then I heard about remedial massage, and that was my first encounter. And from there, I just extended to myotherapy, and I find it really interesting. Yes.
Cool. So tell me, what is the distinct difference between massage therapy, remedial therapy, and myotherapy?
Well, that's a really good question because there's many answers to that, and probably different people will give you different answers. Um, as I see it, the main thing that distinguish myotherapy from remedial massage and massage therapy is the knowledge that you're working on and the assessment that you perform prior to the treatment to tackle the issue or the pain or the symptoms. That's the main thing.
I understand that with massage therapy, basically they deal with relaxation and a little bit of remedial combined and maybe even some therapeutic, and that they deal with muscle knots and things like that. But I notice with your treatments, there's extensive analysis of where the pain's coming from and what may be causing the presenting pain, the pain behind the pain, behind the pain. So many different things can affect you. And when you refer to the knowledge base, I found your extensive knowledge of the human anatomy and body and musculature has been an educational journey for me. So, what you work with is in combination with exercise physiology. Now, this is a very unique and special offering to the clients where they're not only getting myotherapy, which is a massage on steroids, but they're getting insights of what exercises to do or not to do to aid and assist the injury. So, how do you do that assessment?
Um, I think that combination, working together with the other practitioner in that clinic, it's amazing because there's no clash, and in every sector of allied health, cooperation always bring the best result for the client. So it's true that in myotherapy we want to diagnose the problem and the issue, but I always stress to the client that I'm not here to solve your problem. I'm here to help you alleviate your symptom so you can go and exercise in pain-free range of motion, and therefore the client will help themselves together with the exercise physiology um, to build the muscle that will help him solve the problem.
So, would you say would it be fair to say that in myotherapy, as opposed to say massage, in a lot of cases you're looking at the cause rather than the effect, whereas a lot of cases with massage you're dealing with the effect. Someone says, "Oh well, I've got a sore shoulder or a short sore back," and away they go. But with myotherapy, you can tell from what they're doing in an exercise because you have this exercise background. How did you get that exercise background as well? Because I noticed when I talk to you, you're so knowledgeable about particular exercises that apply to musculature difficulties.
Yes, so the knowledge comes from that myotherapy is not doing it at the same level as physio or exercise physiology, but we can also prescribe corrective exercises. The other thing to remember that it also depends on the practitioner knowledge and how far you want to extend it. And I see exercise, especially corrective exercise, as inseparable part of my treatment.
I guess your association with so many exercise physiologists in the clinic that refer you clients, and then you have your interaction on the case studies, gives you an additional knowledge base that the more you do it, the more you're there. it expands your world of application. Would that be a correct assessment?
True, true. All the amazing part again, working with other health practitioners, especially corrective exercises, they're specialized in those kind of exercises. That's the amazing part of it. So if I want to get more or to know more, I can just go and ask the practitioner there in the clinic, which again they are amazing. I work with them and basically they 4 years this is what they study this kind of exercise, so definitely that's a really good source of knowledge to work with. Yeah.
I notice myofascial release, is a big part of myotherapy, and you deal with the fascia. And I don't know if our audience understands what fascia is. It's just that you have bands of sinew, tissue, muscle, whatever it is, that extend from your heel right up to your neck, which means that when you coordinate your musculature movement, you'll engage 20, 30 muscles, but it's the fascia that, like a spring, a torsion, makes you flexible and strong. So what is myofascial release and give us some talk there.
Okay, so fascia in the basic level, if you want to see fascia, just buy the chicken breast in Woolies and see the white things they're attached to the chicken, that's the fascia. The thing is that in the past, they think that fascia is not essential when they do the cadaver labs or when they when they research on the body. But then they realize that the fascia is everywhere, and that's basically connect everything in the body, especially when it's come to muscle and bones. And the thing is that you have some anatomy trains, we call it fascial trails in the body. So meaning you can have problem with your neck, but it could be attached to your heel because that's the pathway that that line is following. So that fascial release is such a sensational part of myotherapy. So it's really something that is unseparate from the treatment that I cooperate every time.
And I noticed in some myotherapists, they have all these sinister looking tools, these raking tools and things like that. Do you use any of those particular tools? They look like, you fold out this
Yes, the,
cloth, and they got all these stainless steel raking tools to deal
blades,
with
yeah,
the fascia. And you look
those
like one of these torture guys from the mafia, you got all these tools.
Yeah, there is some therapists that using it and getting good result. I find that it depends on the individual. I prefer to use my hands because then I have the feeling. It's important to say as well that when you give treatment, yes, you want to change the tissues and you want to cause some improvement, but you need to make sure as well that you're not causing too much damage. So sometimes when we change the fascia or the muscle or the soft tissue, when we don't have the feeling and we're using the plate, sometimes we're using too much force than we need without knowing that. So it's also important to make sure that we also monitoring that thing. Yes.
Now, some myotherapists are big on cupping and
Yes.
dry needling. Do you use any of those modalities?
When any practitioner use any kind of modalities, the main important thing is to ask why I'm using it. What's the reason? So I'm using both of them, cupping and dry needling. It's just important to understand that I'm not using it every time in every treatment. I'm just use it as it needed. And each one have their own property that you can use that can help you with your treatment.
I noticed that in the treatments that you've given me, we worked on the upper side of the upper part of the body for 3 weeks in a row, and then we went to the lower part of the body 3 weeks in a row. It's interesting treating someone over a period of time to get them to have the best functionality in the gym. Do you recommend ongoing treatments for people, or do you think they can come to you for, say, 3, 4 sessions and they're done, and then they come back in 6 months when they got another problem? Or is there maintenance as well as repair?
I think that repetitive treatment is essential. It's definitely, we want to focus more on prevention, and I prefer you will come to me as a client before the problem happen, or to help you prepare for something, rather to come in that you already have the pain. Then we need to identify the problem, and then the recovery and the process will be slower. But if we can get it before something happen, we can already plan to the future. What's the treatment plan? Yes, and definitely, I always recommend to my clients not to come back every week, but they can also come back monthly or fortnightly. It's also have some improvement to that as well.
Well, for those of you out there that are athletes or sports minded or have a strong exercise regime, um, I know that all the people I mix with in the health and wellness industry either go for adjustments with chiropractors, or they get a weekly or fortnightly massage, or if they're lucky enough to find a myotherapist who knows what he's doing, like Yuval, they'll go to him as part of their whole routine. Now, I work out 3 times a week pretty solidly. I play badminton on a Thursday night, and I've been going to Pilates on Saturday morning. Now, that's a lot of physical activity. So I find the cost factor of going to a myotherapist such as Yuval is on par with a massage therapist anyway. A normal, if you just go for a normal massage, they're well over $100 now for an hour. So that's where it's landed, and you're not expensive. And then there's the rebate that people can get because of your professional accreditation. So people can get Bupa and high caps and things like that. So you have that functionality.
Can you just to clarify the question?
Oh, sure. How many different funds or rebates can people get with you? And I believe you have a special offer at the moment that you're giving a 20% reduction on cost.
Yes, 100%. So myotherapy is covered by private health, and we got credit and funds from different companies, especially the big ones like Bupa, NIB, Medibank. It's all available, and definitely the price is reasonable for myotherapy. And we have now special offer. Yeah, we're offering to people 20% off for first treatment, and that's what we want. We want to spread the rumor about myotherapy, because I find that a lot of people are unfamiliar with that.
That's it. That's why the
Yes.
interview. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I know that I have really good masseurs and therapists and chiropractors, but since I've been coming to you, I've let them all slip by the wayside, because as a one-stop shop for me to keep flexible and pain-free so I can continue my sport and exercise, you're providing that service. And from the point of view of cost factor, I'm actually finding it cheaper because I'm not having to spasmodically go to other places to fill in what didn't get done. You seem to be able to get me across the line. Now, if somebody's coming to you, they need to make a booking, don't they?
Yes, they are. They always can go to our website, just to search Sage Active Clinic in Brighton, and from there they can just make the booking or make a call for any inquiries, or just pop in and we will help you get in.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And do you have any particular case studies or clients? I don't want you to mention their name, but that you've worked with where you've been able to take them on a journey and bring some restoration about?
Yeah, so generally speaking, not going to specifically on people and cases, but the demographic that I'm working in Brighton is really interesting, and I'm getting a lot of cases. And definitely sometimes people come to you, for example, with a lower back pain or hip pain, and they cannot walk. And you think, people think the worst. And then, like we talk about myofascial release, you just release the fascia of the lower back that connect to the pelvic and release a bit knots or tight muscle on the side of the hip of the gluteus medius, then suddenly, like a miracle, they can run. And that's the amazing part, because it's not only the part of the myotherapy and the physical work, it's also the set of mind of the client, because myotherapy also working a lot of the mind and the nervous system, because the pain is that sit in the brain. And basically, when you touch those points, or when you make the client realize, okay, or the patient realize that that part is painful, now I can go back to my brain, I'll send signal, will saturate the nerve and will cause release. And automatically, even without doing too much physical work, you can already put in the mind of the patient that, okay, I can do those things. And that's the amazing part in that profession.
I noticed your main client base is people like me in the mature years. You deal with the age community 50 plus, and you have a lot of people there 65, 70, 75, 80, that have debilitating situations. And I believe with the combination of myotherapy and exercise physiology that you tackle not directly, but indirectly you tackle anxiety and depression. Like, not that it's an ultimate cure, but it certainly reduces that in mature age people that seem isolated. So it gives them a community touch, and it gives them a physical touch, something to do. Because I've noticed some of your mature age clients have been going there for 2 or 3 years. They've transformed quite considerably.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because myotherapy is, call it the advanced level of massage therapy, remedial massage. And I think in any kind of those sort of treatments, you can always just look on the patient face when they just come, or they come with pain, or come with anxiety, or moving around, and how they go out from the treatment, almost sleepy. And when you see that, you don't need even to ask any question. You know that you did your job. So it's definitely come along with reducing stress. It's important to say as well that what massage therapy or myotherapy doing, it's put your nervous system in the parasympathetic route. So it's make you relax rather being in the sympathetic, the one that always drive you and run you. So if the exercise physiology doing one part, which building, I'm the one that unloading the problematic parts. Yes, not only functionally, also in the mind. Yes.
Well, I know that when I started the whole process some time ago, I had a lot of presenting problems with my knees, my ankles, my elbows, my shoulder. I was a walking catastrophe. This is some time ago, but over the years, the last 5, 10 years, I've put in so much effort. Things have greatly reduced. I would say now, at 71, I'm the healthiest and fittest I've ever been. And I know that myotherapy is an integral part of what I do. And the purpose of this interview is to bring awareness to people that they should seek it out and have that experience. It's not expensive. It's on par with normal massage. The difference is, how many years study did you do to get your qualification? I know with massage therapy, some people are out there not qualified at all, no training, maybe a couple of hours, a couple of weeks, couple of months. What have you done to get your qualification?
Yeah, so like you said, there's different level of certificates, and if you start with the basic, there's even massage therapists without taking anything from anyone. They're just working in shops, don't need even qualification with that. It's important to say that myotherapy, I study 3 years. I got Advanced Diploma of Myotherapy. I started with Diploma of Remedial Massage, and from there I took it to Advanced Diploma of Myotherapy. So that's why I say in the beginning of the interview that the main thing that I can offer without all of the techniques and everything, it's the knowledge. It's the knowledge, and I see it as, like you said, important part of person well-being, because it's something that can help you with every part of your life, when if it's stress or speed recovery or help you manage injury. It's like, yes, like every health practitioner. It's important to say that, because sometimes I find that people get confused. Okay, so you are a masseuse. I'm sorry, but I'm not seeing myself as a masseuse. I'm seeing myself as a therapist. Not even massage therapist. I am a therapist.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you deal with a lot of aspects. It's, when you
Yes.
talk about knowledge, a perfect example, I went to a practitioner once and I went to pay them and I got my wallet out of my back pocket. And he said to me, "Now I know why your hip is out." I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, that fat wallet and you're sitting disjointed." He said, "Put it in your front pocket or your shirt or carry it. Don't put it in your back pocket. It's going to make your physiology incorrect." And I took his advice, and lo and behold, a lot of my back pain disappeared just from that bloody wallet in my back pocket that I would sit, and obviously it would disjoint your body. So that's knowledge when people don't know what their behaviors are doing or what certain things that have built up. And then that you become like a detective and you start to ask the good questions like you asked me, what were you doing when this happened? How do you approach this exercise? And especially rotator cuff is so common. At the moment I'm doing this exercise where I'm lifting a weight back like this,
Yeah.
like that cat you see in the Chinese shops.
To bring luck, yeah. Yeah,
Because there's certain things that uh, you can keep going to a therapist to get treatment, but if you don't take away the cause of the problem, it will persist or it will come back or the treatment won't be effective because you're doing what you shouldn't be. Like, for instance, eating bad food and expecting to be healthy and lose weight. It's like having two fire hoses, one with
yeah.
petrol on the fire and one with water on the fire. So the fire continues, but you keep putting the water on and hoping it'll fix. So how long is a typical treatment?
So we have the duration of the treatment. We have three types. We have actually we have four. We have the 30 minutes, we have the 45 minutes, we have the 60 minutes, and we have 90 minutes. Usually for first treatment, for that initial consultation, when a lot of questions need to be asked and assessment need to be done, it's always recommended to do 60 minutes. And then moving on, it's recommended to do 45 minutes, 30 minutes, run on that, assuming that the condition is manageable and we get in improvement. Yes.
Sure. And how passionate are you with your myotherapy?
I will say that I'm extremely motivated and passionate about it. And I think it's all start with anatomy and sport. That's why it's come so handy with the exercise physiology clinic. In the end of the day, if you come to that sources of the movement and the mechanic, even if you are not the most brilliant massage therapist hands-on technique, if you come with that knowledge, you can actually help a lot of people.
Sure. So
Yeah.
what about you? You play a bit of sport. You're sports minded. Do you tend to get myotherapy yourself?
So I do get sometimes from other myotherapist or remedial massage therapists that I study with or working with other clinics, or I cooperate with them. And yes, it's again, it's for me it's important that point, especially for active people. Me as someone that still exercising and did some exercises before being playing basketball and volleyball, it's so important for recovery, or just to target the issue, or where you can get to the point that you can get the improvement. Like when you come to the table, so you have your stretches, you have the exercise and the knowledge, and you got to the ceiling, and I want to take that ceiling and take it even higher. And I think that's how important it is even for me to get there.
Yeah, there's so many aspects like PNF stretching, and when I play, it's not so much you have a prevailing issue that has just shown up for no reason. The exercise usually, if you're sensible and you're within your scope of ability, exercise doesn't really cause too much trouble. But when you play sport, you put in very compromising situations and there's unpredictable challenges. And that's usually when you're off to the chiro, the myo, or the doctor because you've injured yourself or you've just gone beyond your limits. I think that myotherapy has been a wonderful discovery for me, and I hope people out there make the same discovery. So people can contact you at Sage Active Clinic if they want to experience this modality. I highly recommend it, especially for people who've got niggling pains that have gone on for a long time and they haven't got the answers they want to solve it. They might find that they're doing an exercise the wrong way. They might find that they've got challenges where they need to do some micro exercises, not so much big, heavy exercises to fix the problem, but very subtle, little, tiny movements to stimulate the small muscles that activate the bigger muscles. There's just so many aspects to this health and wellness stuff. Yuval, look, I really appreciate your time and highly recommend you. And thanks so much for this interview. And I appreciate everything you've shared.
Thank you, Freddie. Thank you for having me. It was my pleasure.
Is there anything else you'd like to add before we go?
I think, yes, just before you mentioned before PNF, MET, and again, these micro exercises or limitation, we really aim in myotherapy, and again, especially when we are in exercise physiology clinics, so the client, the patient can come and exercise comfortably with pain-free range of motion. We really aim to help with those kind of things. And MET, a muscle energy technique, is one of the techniques that we use to improve the range of motion. It's not a stretching. We use it to improve range of motion without causing any excruciating pain to the client. That's how smart it is. So yeah, that one is what I think very valid point to explain to the people that listening, that we're using that kind of trick that don't need much to help you. Yes.
I'm glad I asked you that question before we signed out, because next time I see you, I'll ask you more about MET so
Yes.
that I can get extended range of motion for my badminton. I'm competitive and I'm keen to do it. Thank you so much, brother. And I will see you next Monday. You can book me in, and thank you for your time.
No worries. See you.
Don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, and there'll be more of this stuff coming up. Thank you.